You're gonna have to spring back into style.
Shut the fuck up. I just took a tasty drink of Dr. Popper's penguins.
Mr. Popper's goddamn penguins.
And there's all I can see is titties bouncing up and down.
So I don't know. I didn't see Avengers 2, but I heard
You know,
that
a lot.
was bad.
Well,
Or
a lot of people really liked it. It seems generally people liked it.
okay.
I thought it was really silly. Like, the whole bad guy in that movie is like a CG robot guy. And the first time I saw him, like, when he actually looks like he does for most of the movie, I had a hard time not laughing. But everybody else was like, whoa. It's just like, alright.
So was it just a really silly design, or?
It's just weird because it's CG.
Oh.
Like, entirely. And it's like a CG sort of humanoid. I don't know. If you saw it, you know what I meant. But,
Yeah.
if you go in there expecting Citizen Kane,
Well,
then
it's a fucking
what's wrong
Marvel
with you?
movie.
Yeah, it's, you know, you'll hear the same old Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man humor. You will get the schmexy lady, what's her name,
Scarlett
Black Widow,
Johansson.
yeah, doing sort of flirting. You'll get the Captain America being a lame superhero. I'm sorry.
Those fighting words, boy.
I know
Hey.
a lot of people like Captain America and Spider-Man. And I think they're the dumbest heroes.
Honestly, I was one of those people who really liked Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Really? I didn't see Amazing Spider-Man 2, but people have a burning hatred for that movie. And
I don't see why. It was really good.
Most people hate that movie more than they hate Spider-Man 3 with
Why?
Tobey Maguire.
I don't. That's like
Featuring
impossible.
everybody's favorite chair scene. I love that. That is the silliest. I want to watch that right now. Oh, that's great.
I don't
Dances
see
with the
why
chair.
though, because it was. I thought it was like.
I didn't see it.
I thought it was.
There
a
was some really silly things where two planes almost hit each other.
I don't remember that part.
Is this the same song that plays in the first level?
No.
I can barely hear
Oh,
it.
it's probably a remix because this game is like Super Mario World, where every song in the game is like a remix of kind of like that same tune, you know?
Yeah, but in Super Mario World, I don't know. There's enough different songs.
No, it's literally like they took this. They take the same
okay,
tune
yeah,
and kind
but
of change
they're
it
different
up a little.
enough. Whereas this, I feel like, is closer. What are other games that do that have like one bass song? I feel like there are several.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, that's true. I like
Luigi's Mansion 2 does it as well.
What I love is when Luigi's singing or whistling. You know what I never did really like? You sort of take for granted in that game.
What?
But if you really think about it, you're like, that does happen all the time. Is that yeah. You know what I'm talking about? When you're in like a dark room and there's ghosts about, and there's that noise that's like,
No.
Trust me, if you like look like at that and you like try to listen for it, you'll be like, what the? This happens all the time. Every room, when it's dark and there's ghosts. Or you're
Oh, that.
yeah, what the hell is that?
You got me.
Exactly. Anyway,
Hey, Eric, remember those RAM things from Pac-Man World 2 that you loved so much?
listen, you. Just because they're my favorite enemy of all time.
And that's why Kid Icarus Uprising is my favorite game of all time.
Spoiler alert.
Nah, spoiler alert.
Do you know the name of that voice actor?
Scott C. Bullock.
See, that's how much you love that voice in that game. Unless if that's a well-known
He
voice
also
actor.
voiced Bartangelus from Final Fantasy 13.
Fun fact, he's also played by Nolan North.
And you want to know what's really funny? Is that Palutena is played by Ali Hillis, who played Lightning from Final Fantasy 13.
Who was also voiced by Nolan North.
And you want to know what's also funny? Is that Pyron and Arlon the Serene are both voiced by Troy Baker, who voiced Snow from Final Fantasy 13.
Who is also voiced by Nolan North.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nolan North was in the game.
That's another game we need to play, Final Fantasy 13-1.
Well, unfortunately for us, Eric, I sold the game.
Why? You love that game. It's your favorite game.
You know what?
Why?
That should teach you. That should tell you guys how much I didn't like 13. Is that
Well,
no matter how much I hate a game, I will never sell it.
How many?
Unless if it's just, something I really don't care about.
And Michael has Star Fox Adventures in his collection, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Exactly.
So don't believe any of the bullets that he's spraying out of his mouth all over the microphone.
Bullets out of my mouth.
Michael Zander, 2015.
Oh, Mr. Bucket, the bullets come out of my mouth, Mr. Bucket.
Horse bullets all on your face, Mr. Bucket. I want to lick your butthole, Mr. Bucket. That's how the song goes, right? Hey, Michael. Yeah. God. I know what I'm turning down in post.
Well, don't worry. The compressor should do that for you, mostly.
Sometimes it's like, oh,
if it's too loud, then even a compressor won't help.
Yes, exactly, like that.
But I'm so glad that I discovered that, because before it would be like sometimes audio would be too quiet, sometimes it would be way too loud, and then like every second I would have to raise or lower something in post. Mm-hmm. So the compressor has made my life so much easier.
Wow, everybody must care about this. Go on, please.
You know what? I also started using it in the reviews, starting with DKC, and I thought it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more. When will you get a job?
Tell me more, tell me more. Our name is Hitler. I killed the Jews and other
Stop!
Too.
What is with enough?
Enough.
It's like the last part I edited. The last part I edited last night. You said like an epithet against the Jewish people.
Really?
Yeah. You were like.
No, I didn't. That's false.
You did.
That's false.
I even had to censor it.
This is slander.
Well, Eric, it can't really be. You don't really have to react that way, because it's not like they get to hear what you said.
See, you just did that, and you're giving me shit. Come on now.
What do you mean?
Besides, I'm more making fun of Hitler than the Jews. Let's be honest here.
I suppose. Have you actually read Mein Kampf?
No, I haven't.
I read like an excerpt of it for an Ideologies class, and it's like the most ridiculous fucking shit.
Well, fascism is all about that, isn't it? Isn't it?
Well, I mean, like, the Italian stuff that I can understand a little more, but Hitler's just like, the Jews are the destroyers and subverters of culture. They destroy all civilization with whatever they... I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about?
I thought Mein Kampf was more about, like, how great the German Aryans were, and less about how much they hated Jewish people.
Part of it, like, it's...
Where did that come from? Because that is such a thing. Like, why do people hate Jewish people so much?
I don't know.
Like, you can tell, like, if you look at, like, kids' books and stuff, Jewish people be represented by, like disgusting, hideous monsters.
I really
and
don't
stuff.
get it, because
people just grow up with that, and that's all they're exposed to.
Like,
so that's all they know.
Anti-Semitism is one, like.
I just wonder where it comes from, because it's usually there's some historical event, or
yes,
war between
there
two
has
people
to be some sort
where that comes from.
Background for that. But it's just like, I'm not really for, per se,
Nazism.
any form of, intolerance against any person for any reason, but anti-Semitism is one of those things that, like, I just do not tolerate at all. Because I do not see
the reasoning. Any even
like,
possible reason.
Yes.
Like, if you can sort of you might not agree with something, but if you understand where it's coming from, you might have a little bit more sympathy.
It's like one thing to have something against someone for their faith or ancestry, but like when it seems completely unfounded, like it does with anti-Semitism, then it's just like especially hateful to me.
Fun fact, Hitler was a douchebag. Did you know that?
Yeah, fun fact, even though World War II was like 70 years ago, people are still referencing Hitler today for some reason.
Hitler. That's because he is like the world's villain. You know what I mean? Like, World War I, most people don't even know who Kaiser Wilhelm is, right?
It really wasn't him, it was like the Austrian Habsburgs.
Well, whatever, but you know what I mean? There's no Hitler in World War II. I mean, World War I. But everybody knows who Hitler is. Part of that's because, A, it was more recent, but I think the bigger part of it is World War I was much more morally gray than World War II was. World War II felt like there were a few super militaristic like regimes, more so like Japan wanting more power in Asia, and Italy being fascist and wanting to be like colonial, and it felt a little bit more aggressive and belligerent than it did in World War I, where it was more of a just not trusting in alliances and stuff, and then there's Hitler, who says, all right, we will stop if you give us these countries or whatever, and they do, and then he keeps marching and trying to take over as much as Europe as possible, and also exterminating just so many people. So that's why it much more felt like, hey, the Allies are the good guys, and you know, there are bad guys in that war, whereas in the other one it's just like, it's just, you know, people having military conflict.
Like, really, World War I was your standard.
Next time in history class with Eric and Michael.
Next time in history class with ZBros play.
Michael will tell you why the communist bear agenda is the one to vote for.
We will be discussing the Chinese Revolution, the Chinese Communist Revolution.
No, we're not. We'll be talking... Okay, maybe if it's in song, but I also want to cover the bear communism thing, because that's important.
I don't know, I find that sort of...
Wow, episode 5012 of Wario World got really weird really fast. It's weird how that's the not weird episode.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's the weird episode.
I'm going to be heading back, because we missed 2, so... I don't think it'll be as bad as that other level.
Iceland.
Yeah.
Dirty Icelanders.